Imagine you're on a tightrope, suspended high in the air above a gaping chasm. Your heart is pounding, your hands are clammy. You look down and there's nothing but empty space. You look ahead, there's a distance to cover, but it's also exhilarating because deep down, you know that even though it's terrifying, the only way to get to the other side is to take that first step, and then the next, and the next. Whether it is a startup, a career change, or a big move in life. Today on Expert Connections, we're going to talk to two renowned motivational speakers who have a brand new program to guide us through life's high wire act. Welcome to Expert Connections. I'm Julie Holton. Today on the show, we have two experts who weigh in on how to navigate change. Join me in welcoming Regina Carey and Bob Hoffman to the show. Hello, you two.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm so excited to have you here. Let me do some quick introductions so our audience knows who we're talking to. Regina has spent the last 3 decades educating, empowering, advocating for those who feel stuck, yet want to take that leap. They just don't know how to get started. That's what Regina does. She has been described as a natural dose of antidepressant. And I just love that explanation, Regina, because who couldn't use a natural dose of antidepressant, which also explains why you have teamed up with the guy next to you there. Bob Hoffman is just an absolute beacon of positivity. He is a public relations specialist, a broadcaster, a motivational speaker, and he has made a huge impact on his community by rolling up his sleeves and advocating for change, making the world a better place through his nonprofit called Epiphany Now, which is all about passing it forward through kindness. I am so excited to have both of you here on the show today because oftentimes on the show, we're talking to startups and startup founders and entrepreneurs who are navigating through really tricky situations, huge challenges, and frankly, it's just hard and not fun sometimes, to say the least. So I'm curious, Regina, let's start with you. What are some of the biggest challenges when you're talking with clients and you're helping to coach them along their journey? What are some of the things that you notice that really get people stuck?
Thanks, Julie. I love working with people who are in the business of making the world a better place. And what surprises me each and every time with these people who feel stuck is they're coming to me with the tray of all the things they don't do well. I can't do this. I don't want to do this. I can't make this happen. Or they're shooting on themselves. I should be doing this. I should be doing that.
Oh my gosh, those shoulds.
No shooting
Get us
on
all
yourself.
in trouble.
That's right. And so where I begin is to say, what do you do well? What are your strengths? What brings you joy? Who says we have to start with the weak areas and build them up, make them stronger? I'm a believer in taking your natural strengths, what you're gifted at, what comes easily to you, and start from there. That's the real foundation. So that's it. They're always surprised at, I thought you were going to fix me. Well, let's start with the fact that you're not broken.
I love that, Regina, because I'm noticing on the sign behind you, you have written the power within. And so I have a feeling that that ties into your messaging. How does that tie in? I mean, you're talking about really focusing on people's strengths and perhaps the power within.
Yes, and I really believe that we all have that fire in our bellies, that passion to do something that comes natural for us. I was never going to go into accounting, Julie. I love being on stage. In fact, I really like to be a backup dancer one of these days. But I love performing and talking with people and inspiring people. And we really all have this power inside us. But as we grow and as life happens, it snuffs out that fire. And That's what Bob and I are all about, is helping people stoke it, get it going again, and using it to do good.
Yeah, Bob, this seems like she's describing you to a T. Talk about how, your nonprofit Epiphany Now really has focused on passing it forward through kindness. And I know this is something that you tend to instill in each of the projects that you work on, whether it's kindness, spreading positivity. How does this tie in with what Regina is saying?
I think because we have to be nice to ourselves, right? We have to give ourselves the credibility and to know that we have within us an opportunity to do something amazing and to fill our life mission, whatever that may be, and to find that happiness. And so oftentimes people complain, or they say, I want to do something, I want to do this, and we don't do it. And I think I was one of those people for a long time, until finally I just said, what's holding me back? Why am I not doing it? And how do I make it happen? And so, Regina talks about the power of within, and I think about the power of possibility, and everything's possible. We just need to make it a reality and ask ourselves the question, is it something that we really want? What do we
Yes.
really want? And that's a question that's so hard to
So
answer.
hard.
It's an extremely hard question to answer. However, and we might not be able to answer it because today I might want something different than I did 2 months ago, but we can narrow down what we like and what we want to do. And narrowing that down is being kind to ourselves. And then we can reach into our toolbox and take the tools that we need to use to implement that in our life and go for our dreams.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? I saw a quote the other day that talked about something to the effect of the things that you're saying to yourself in your head. Would you actually say those things to someone else? Or are you treating yourself with kindness? And that ties right into, Regina, what you just wrote on the board. What do I want? How many people get to a place in life where they feel stuck? Either, those golden handcuffs that can make it difficult to leave a job that isn't filling your cup, or making it difficult to really get that startup off the ground. A lot of our viewers are of the entrepreneurial spirit. And I think there are times when we don't necessarily want to answer that question, what do I want? Because the answer might bring about change. And that's what you two are talking about in an upcoming workshop. The dynamic duo of Bob and Regina are teaming up for this workshop called The Power Within, Fueling Your Passion. And it's all about, Bob, as you said, the power of possibility. Regina, tell us what brought about this workshop. What motivated the two of you to team up to put this together?
We had coffee, and Bob and I, we're swirlers. I have this philosophy that we have either swirlers or suckers in our lives. And swirlers are the kind of people who, when you are with them, you leave that conversation, that interaction better, bigger, stronger, more excited to go out and live life and make a difference. And that's exactly what happened when we had coffee. And he said, I really have been wanting to do this thing. And you know what I said? Let's do it. We got it on the calendar. We started taking those steps. And if we could have the one-to-one coffees with all these people who are watching, who are listening in right now, we would say, let's do it. We get excited for your ideas and the impact you want to make. And this way we can have the larger audience, we can encourage everyone, and we can give you the strategies. And sometimes it's just peeling back and really digging down deep to find out, what is it going to take? What's that first step? Because you know what? The world loses out when brilliant people play small and stay quiet. We want to get loud. Right, Bob?
And Julie, Regina and I came up with some concepts and some steps to help people do that, to come up with what they want or a direction of maybe where they want to go. And so we'll offer those in the course, something that's helped us in our life. Having tools at your beck and call and being aware of your tools is really important, especially for entrepreneurs, right? So what happens to most of us? We get this idea and we get really excited about the idea because it's something that we want to achieve, and it's awesome. And we envision of that coming to fruition and what that's like. And that gets some juices flowing in your gut and you're happy. And then you start doing it. And then things of life start hitting you, right? And it takes away that little passion. And then it sometimes becomes a really big, overwhelming sense of obligation, work, and it doesn't feel good anymore. So what we want to do is try to revigor that and also give you some strategies and some tools that you can have, that when that starts happening, because life is going to happen, right? When that life starts happening, you're okay. You've got a defense mechanism built up. You're good. It's going to bounce off of you.
There is nothing worse, I think, than leaving a conference and you're all excited, you're all motivated, you're ready to make change. And then it's like that first day back at the office, or that first day back home with the kids, or the first day back, whatever. And something inevitably will happen that just completely throws you off kilter. All that motivation that you've just described, all those good feelings, and you're ready to move forward, just gone. And so I love to hear that you actually have some actionable takeaways that people will be able to start implementing right away without even waiting for that first day back, whatever that day looks like. And also, Bob, it stood out to me as you talked about, almost like I almost envisioned this kind of toolbox that people will be able to turn to and pull things back out of that box, so
Yeah.
that whether it's one day later or 1 month later or 1 year later, people can keep reaching into the toolbox. Can you give us a preview? I know one of the things on your event page on your website, one of the things you describe is boosting productivity. And I think that if there's one thing that everyone can use that we're probably never quite experts at, it seems like there are always ways to continue to learn to be more efficient or to boost productivity. Can you give us maybe one idea of what you plan to talk about for productivity?
Absolutely. And you know what it goes back to, Julie? What do you want? What do you want? Asking that question to yourself. And then what are the steps that you're going to do to take that action? And you write that down and you see it. And then everything that happens around that, you can say, is that serving my greater good? Just today, and we're always teased with new things. An opportunity presented itself to me at lunch. And it was like, shiny and wow. And oh my gosh, wow, thank you. That's amazing. But then I asked the question, is this what I want? And it was easy to say, no, I don't want that anymore. But
Oh, yes, learning when to say no. Oh my goodness.
learning when to say no, and going back to asking the question, what do you want? When do you want it? How are you going to get it? And we kind of walk through that a little bit. It sounds simple, and it really is simple when you put those mechanisms in your brain. And also, Julie, I want to talk about thought patterns, because thought patterns are really important. And the power of positivity is absolutely 100% critical and important. And what you're saying to yourself, as you've already mentioned, is everything. You can do absolutely anything you put your mind to. It might not necessarily happen next week, next year, but by gosh, in 5 years, in 2 years, whatever the timeline, it will happen. It will happen if you are consistently telling yourself the messages and you're envisioning yourself doing it, whatever that may be. We talk a lot about the law of attraction, and I love the law of attraction. It's fabulous. But there's steps within the laws of attraction. I just can't think it and say, okay, I'm willing this to happen to me. This is going to happen to me. Yes, keep thinking those thoughts. Keep envisioning it. Keep that alive, but also take the steps that you need to make that a reality.
Regina, tell us about what you're writing on the board as Bob's talking there.
I'm highlighting what he's saying. There is power in our nose, and recognizing when to say that. And the positive thought patterns, holy cow, so important to reframe our thoughts. It's so easy to rattle off that list of why we can't have what we want, because we have been told by so many people in our lives, oh, you better have a plan B. Oh, really? You're really going to do that? Good luck with that. They roll their eyes, or we've heard it all. And usually it's from the people closest to us. And so part of this work and the consistency with which we use our tools, a lot of it has to do with letting go of what feels really comfortable, the people closest to us, because when we start to build on our dreams and determine really what it is that we want, sometimes it means letting people off at the bus stop and saying, you're not on the bus right now. I'll loop back around and pick you up if you want to be on the bus again. But for right now, you're not on the bus. I'm going down this road and you're not there with me. And that's going to be okay, because when we're ready, new teachers appear.
Regina, you've had the opportunity to work with a lot of people through the years. And so I'm sure you've seen a lot of success stories. Can you give us an example of how you have seen some of these tools that you and Bob will be sharing, how you've seen them come to benefit people in their lives?
I was just talking with someone this week who said, I never even realized the power of this work, the small steps that ultimately add up. And one of my clients was telling me, look, I used to give my energy to every single person, and I'd worry about every single person in my life because I thought that that was being a concerned mother, friend, sister, daughter. And what she was able to do is let go, let people walk their journeys, and really put that energy back on herself and her dreams. She is happier. She is more productive. She is getting off the couch and out into life. I have seen people be so quiet and hold their dreams so close to their chest and go from that to having their work be up on a highway billboard. Locally, we have to take the first step, and it might end up huge, and it might end up simply looking like that sigh of relief.
The power within, fueling your passion. It is a transformative workshop that is coming up, put on by Bob and Regina. Let's just give some of these quick details. It will be held on Saturday, July 29th from 8:30 a.m. That'll be the registration time. So then the workshop itself will be from 9 a.m. until noon, just $97 per person. What a steal to be able to spend 3 hours learning from both of you. The power of possibility. Bob and Regina, thank you so much for being on the show today. Bob, could you let us know too, what website should people go to for more information on the workshop?
Absolutely. Well, there's a couple of them. You can go to bobhoffmaninspires.com. You can go to Epiphany Now, EPIFANYNOW.com. Those two websites will lead you right there. And I have to say that free parking will be available at the airport, which is important because I think people are thinking, oh, there's going to be parking. Nope, it's free for participants. Thank you to the Capital Region International Airport, our sponsor of the event. And so I think it'll be a great morning and it will be a lot of fun for people. So bobhoffmaninspires.com or epiphanynow.com. And epiphany is spelled a little bit differently.
Because we have to pass it forward, EPIFANY now.com.
And Julie, I hope that the people that take from our workshop can pass it forward and pass the information forward and change other people, because we have to support each other. We have to support each other in any road that we decide to go down.
Well, fans of our show know that there is nothing that inspires me more than when I get to interview people who are passing it forward or giving it back, changing the world in some way. And I just love the mission that both of you are on. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for what you do, Julian.
Thanks.
Make sure to subscribe to Expert Connections and check out more on this event from Bob and Regina.